So if you're someone who deems yourself as intelligent, please just stick around. So, do you ever feel as if like you just get singled out or you're usually challenged or like a lot of situations in your life just become confrontational or combative and you don't know why, especially for the fact that you're not trying to make anything combative or competitive, but it seems like it just happens, especially among circles of either people who are clearly less intelligent or people who are usually seen as being the most intelligent in the room. It's like you begin talking and then all of a sudden there's like this weird like sidestepping around things that are happening. And depending on what type of person you are, like if you're someone who grew up in a competitive background or like an athletic background, you peep the competition a little bit sooner, or like the aggression in the conversation or the conflict. And so you might just be more confused or fall back a little. And so this is what I'm gonna say. This is what I've been realizing. Is like when it comes to animals, we're humans, but we're animals, right? So when it comes to the animal kingdom, animals are always aware and hyper aware of the apex predator or whoever is above them on the food chain. And when it comes to us humans, intellect is part of what determines where you get placed in this hierarchy or chain, right? So, with the fact that as animals, mammals, we're always scanning our premises and trying to see what's dangerous, where's protection, our brains are going to automatically identify the supreme intelligence in the area. Or if we come in contact with something or someone who deems to challenge our safety, even if only perceived, or challenge our status or hierarchy, it becomes a problem. And so, how does this affect intelligent people? Especially intelligent people who don't feel the need to showcase, showboat, or broadcast that they're intelligent. What's happening when you're getting into these conversation situations and altercations with people that you're not even aware of the competition or aggression in, you have now been identified as an apex predator or a supreme predator. You feel me? Your intelligence supersedes that of either what was expected or that of the majority of the people in the room. And regardless of whether it has been intellectualized, the people who have been observing you were able to realize we are not the same. Right? Are you following along? So it's not necessarily that you did something to make you the enemy or the target. It's subconsciously, maybe consciously, intellectually, the person knows at some instance there's a level of inferiority. And depending on the security of the person with themselves, they now have to attack you. They now have to bring you down to underneath them or equal. But equal is still not safe because that doesn't mean that they're the supreme predator or the apex predator. And if you're not even hunting, well, I'm sorry, you've already been labeled as a threat. And now it is up to you to either one, dominate or leave. You feel me? Or just ignore it. But in my experience, the ignoring of it is actually more annoying. It's as if, imagine you have like a super big, like 6'5". You got The Rock. You got The Rock. Imagine you got The Rock and then you got Kai Cenat and he's trying to fight The Rock. All The Rock gotta do is this, right? And say you're ignoring it by just holding it at bay and keeping your attention over here. The Rock could stand the opposite direction and just stiff arm Kai Cenat out the way all day. But if Kai is swinging and kicking and yelling and doing this and saying this and doing this, he might not actually connect, but it's annoying than a motherfucker. So even if you are able to hold it at bay and ignore it, it's still in your vicinity, it's still in your peripheral, it is still in your ear. You're going to be annoyed. So you're going to have to disengage. That's why, for me personally, I just choose to disengage at the soonest point of realization of what's going on. And unfortunately, it took me up until this big age of almost 32 to realize what the fuck was happening, because there's so many instances in my life where I'm having a neutral, mutual conversation with somebody, and the next thing you know, I feel as if what I'm saying is being challenged or being like compared to other things. And it's like, all I do is make a comment. Now I feel like I'm supposed to be explaining why my comment is valid. And then now it seems as if you're trying to explain to me situations outside of what I commented on that are also relevant and valid. But I never invalidated any of those or even referenced them. And this is when I realized, oh, whatever you said either struck home, hit a nerve, or sounded intelligent. So now they're just trying to come up with their own equally intelligent answer or diminish your answer so you don't think that you're right or that it makes sense or that you're smart. And unfortunately, if you're somebody who is intelligent or only speaks about things that you know, most of the time when you talk, the things that you're going to say are going to make sense, right? I only choose to speak when I have something to add to the conversation. So 90% of the time, if I'm speaking, there's some truth to it. So once you get into situations where you feel like you're arguing the opposite of the truth or trying to defend a truth that you don't even care about, this is information, bro. There's literally information in my head. I'm not emotionally attached to it, but if I hear something that I know something about, I have to regurgitate what I know. I don't anymore. I used to just regurgitate what I knew. But then I realized, like, yo, the fact that you know so much about a subject that the person didn't know enough about to even be able to have that conversation now makes you dangerous. Like, people will feel like you're trying to tell them about themselves or tell them about something that they already know about or a field or profession that you have nothing in common with. It was like, bro, just because I don't do that on a daily basis doesn't mean I haven't studied that area or that thing, right? But I'm learning to just step back when interacting with people where I know there is no need for intellectual competition or proving points or having great ideas. I try to stop thinking. I just stop thinking. Don't do it. Because as soon as I start thinking and I realize that I'm having some type of back and forth with a person, I'm like, oh, damn, it's happened again. I'm not competing, bro. I don't even want to compete to see who's smarter. Because what are we doing with it? Is it money involved? Is there a payment? If there's no money, if there's no payment, I don't give a damn. Because me being smarter than you, what does that get me? Pride, ego. What am I gonna do with them? Nothing. And if you're smarter than me, cool. Teach me something. And I think that's a big part of the problem as well. Because for someone like me who likes to learn and likes to learn about a plethora of things, I don't mind when someone is smarter than me or well more versed or more informed, because I'm just gonna ask you questions or go over what I think and you can tell me whether or not my uninformed ass is actually right. That's more interesting to me than trying to prove somebody wrong or show that they don't know as much as they think they know. I could give a fuck less what you know. Don't care about your intellect. I'm not your teacher, I'm not your parent, and I'm not your spouse. So your intellect does not do shit for me unless I engage with it and learn from it. But some people like to be the smartest person in the room, and if they're not the smartest person in the room, they feel under attack. And this is when I had to realize that all animals are always aware of the apex predator and who is above them in the food chain. And unfortunately, if someone shows intellectual dominance, a lot of people feel as if they don't measure up or as if they're unsafe. And it's just a biological response to someone being superior. The brain is automatically just going to tell you, this person is on a level that I'm not on. And depending on how comfortable you are with yourself, you're either going to be okay with that or you're going to attack them. And sometimes it might be subconsciously. So for all my smart motherfuckers out there, just be aware of the fact you make people uncomfortable because they're not as smart as you. And now that they feel uncomfortable, they have to bring you down to size or disengage. And that's another thing. Why a lot of intelligent and smart people are, you feel me, often alone is because it's hard for them to engage with people without making people feel subconscious or self-conscious just because of the fact they're not as intelligent. You don't even have to impress that on them. They feel it themselves.